Welcome back, desperate lovers, to another episode of the Desperate for Love podcast. I'm your host, Sophia, and thank you so much for being here. It's been a while since I last opened up about what's going on, since I provided an update of what I've been up to. I cannot believe it's May. I cannot believe it's May. Time is flying. And I'm talking faster than how it used to fly. It is speed of light, rushing, gushing. I cannot believe we are almost halfway through the year. What? Oh my God. I'm extra excited for today's episode because today's episode is one of 3-part series that goes hand in hand with my current content series on my Instagram. You may have seen that I'm currently on a little mission, if you will. I'm on a mission, Operation Smoke Show. It's a content series that I created to document my transformation as I get fit for my 30th birthday. Because when I turn 30 this year, I need to look like a full-blown smoke show. As an extension of the Operation Smoke Show series, I bring to you today a 3-part podcast series that I like to call Before the Storm. I'm currently undergoing a transformation, and I believe it's very important for me to document my starting point. What's on my mind? What's in my body? What's in my soul? I thought it'd be fun to do a 3-part podcast series where in each episode I will talk about, as you've guessed, mind, body, and soul. And in today's episode, I'm excited to open up about my mind. If you've been following the Desperate for Love podcast, you probably got a sense of how unstable my mind can be. My transformation for my 30th birthday is not just physical. I want to become a completely different person. And in order to understand how far I've come, I really want to document where I'm starting, what's on my mind, what toxic thought patterns am I living with, where does my mind go day in and day out. And so today's episode is going to be just about that. I feel that this one's going to be quite relatable because I scroll on social media, you scroll on social media, I watch Netflix, you watch Netflix, and that stuff is designed to program us. And I'm confident that many of us share similar thoughts, similar doubts, similar overthinking patterns. Buckle in, sister. You're not the only one. Buckle in, boys. I know things are tough, but it's okay. We'll get through it. Today is going to be a very interesting episode. I have a breakdown of things that I want to touch on, and I'm just going to check into the flow and allow the first things that come to mind come to light. Our mind is a program. It's a program that has been influenced and built by the world around us. I am committing to change that program, to rewrite it and rise above it and become a person that I dream of becoming, my best version of myself. However, let's be real. We're just starting. We're at the starting. What's the opposite of finish line? We're at the little starting gates, okay? We're in point A, quite literally point A. Okay? Point A, rock bottom is where we are right now. And I know I talked a little bit here and there about how I think to myself and what my thought patterns are, but I'm really going to dive deep just how messed up and negative my mind has been. Hi, and welcome to my point A. This is my now. This is my before. This is my before the storm. This is my mind. This is my default program. These are the default thoughts that run through my mind. When I wake up in the morning, I'm immediately negative. I think to myself, it's time to wake up. It's time to go to work, a job that I love very much. I'm so happy. I'm so passionate about it. I love it so much. I'm tired. Again, I'm tired. I have to get dressed. I have no idea what I'm going to wear today. Ugh, I wish I could stop time, get my full 8 hours of sleep, and then resume time and then head to work. That is actually the most common thought that I think literally every single day. When I wake up, I think to myself, I wish I could stop the time so that I could sleep until I get well rested and then resume the time so that I can go on with my day. Does anybody else have this? And so I get up and I'm like, fuck. Oops, sorry. I get up and I'm like, ugh, I didn't make myself lunch today again. I look horrible. I have disgusting bags under my eyes. My skin looks terrible. My face looks puffy. My body is, ugh. I don't want to go to work. I hate having to go to work. I can't wait for this day to end until I arrive back home from work. I can't wait for the weekend. I'm going to be much more productive when I don't have anywhere to be. And then the weekend rolls around and I wake up on a Saturday morning and I initially planned to be productive, but then I'm like, I'll lay in bed for a little bit longer, watch TV, watch my phone, watch YouTube, watch whatever. I'll make food later. I'll work out later. And on days when I'm driving to work, a little bit of pressure starts to build. You have to push like a horse. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to work out. You have to make money, more money. You have to achieve more, achieve higher. You're still not fit. You're eating like shit. You're still not living the life you want. You're still not where you want to be. And I'm just talking negative crap to myself like there is no tomorrow. Is that anyone else? Am I the only one that has this program? Listen, I genuinely hope majority of people don't have thoughts like this because it's sad. It's sad. Then kicks in comparison. Oh, my favorite friend, thief of joy, comparison. I'm literally always comparing myself to others. Always comparing myself to everyone on social media, comparing myself to people I went to school with, comparing myself to people my age, comparing myself to women I admire and look up to, and feeling like crap about myself, comparing myself to people that are living out their dreams, thriving, while I'm left behind. There is nothing worse than watching someone living life. And I'm not talking about those fake people pretending they're living their life, okay? I'm talking about the real deal, the real ones. And you know who I'm talking about because that authenticity, it shines. And you're just watching them and you're like, take me with you. Teach me. How do I get to where you are? How do I live my dream? How do I live my life? ... Self-criticism. Oh dear, self-criticism. Another friend of mine, very close colleagues. Okay, me and self-criticism go way back. Okay, here goes the list of self-criticism. You're ugly. You have ugly skin. You have ugly everything. You're fat. You're exhausted and it shows. You're this, you're that, you're poor, you're not relevant, you're disgusting. You have no self-control. You're never going to be successful. Look at you. You will never succeed. Does that sound familiar? Do we have a mutual friend, self-criticism? Do you know self-criticism? Is that a mutual friend of ours? Yeah. What the hell is that about? Why do we criticize ourselves? We are so beautiful, naturally beautiful, authentically beautiful. We are so unique, different, and special. We have so much to offer, and our superpower is that there's no one out there like us, ourselves. Who wrote this program? Who planted this evil inside my mind? I don't know. Blame it all on society. Overthinking. Oh my gosh, I'm in a conflict right now. I don't know who is a better, closer acquaintance to me. Self-criticism or overthinking. Overthinking is like my astral twin. Okay. Everywhere I go, I have an astral projection twin version of me by the name Overthinking, and we are inseparable. Overthinking, while it's always present, it stays quiet It roams around you. And then in a moment of hardship, in the moment of failure, in a moment of uncertainty, if a situation happens before you that you are unsure about, your astral friend, my astral friend, activates and goes off. Looping the scenario over and over and over again. Did I say it correctly? Did I do this properly? Should I have done something different? What do I do in the future? How is this going to evolve? Do I regret this? Why did I say this? Worrying about work, worrying about money, worrying about my age and how I don't feel like I'm where I want to be, worrying about my skin, my organs, my body, my teeth, worrying about my future, worrying about my mental health, and then worrying about how I'm doing all of this to myself. The overthinking, the self-criticism, the comparison, the pressure, the worry never ends, basically. And so this is our point A. Music to my ears. Nothing sounds better than knowing that I'm going to be moving far the fuck away from that version of myself. Okay? Okay. And now I'd like to talk about my relationship with discipline, okay? Discipline. Do you know the definition of discipline? Discipline literally is so simple. It simply means doing what you're set out to do no matter how you feel. Doing what you planned to do, said you would do, what you need to do no matter how you feel. Now, I'm such an emotional creature. I'm a Cancer. My zodiac sign is a Cancer. I'm ruled by the moon. My emotions, my intuition, my subconscious mind. I have so much depth and so much of my essence is one big black hole of emotions that it's really hard to stay disciplined and do that thing I said that I would do when I'm not feeling like it. When the black hole of emotions is rumbling and activated, I cannot ignore those feelings and just kind of go and do my thing. I know I have to. I know I have to figure it out. I know it's possible. I know it's not impossible. But do you understand? Am I translating the intensity of like what I'm trying to say here? I'm an all or nothing kind of person. That's why when I'm not up there, I'm automatically a loser. Everything I've been through, everything I've grown through, everything I've done for myself, transformed myself, worked on myself, all of that work gets so easily dismissed simply because here's my expectation. Come on, it's just right here. This is my expectation. Is that so hard to get up here to my expectations? I think I'm being clear. Yet my expectations are so insanely high, so insanely unrealistic and high that neither I nor anyone else can ever reach them. Interesting, right? What are your thoughts about what it's like living inside this body? Anyways, okay, a lot of sarcasm over here. Let me ask you this. How do you speak to yourself when you fail? Genuinely. I understand failure is okay and normal. Failure is normal. You fail your way to the top. You learn from your failure. And without failure, you cannot grow. But I'm unable to internalize those statements. I hate failing. Hate failing really badly. Like, avoid failing at all costs. I cannot tell you the last thing I failed at because of how much I avoid failure. I cannot think of one thing I failed at recently or in the last year because I avoid failure. And if God forbid I fail, okay, I'm gonna contradict myself because there are small moments of failure through my life. You know, when they talk about small wins, well, I'm gonna talk about small fails because we're not gonna admit that our fails are larger than small. No, we're not. So when I have small failures, guess what happens? Self-criticism enters the chat. You're a loser. Cringe. Can't believe you just did that. You failed. You look ridiculous. Of course, you failed. I'm not surprised. That is so like you to fail because you're unsuccessful, because you don't know what you're doing. Need I say more? Need I say more? And so when I failed, it's a very painful inner conversation with myself, truly. because I could make the smallest little mistake and I will destroy myself because of it. When I perform on stage, the smallest, tiniest error, flat note, didn't sing the way that I wanted to, didn't move the way that I wanted to, anything, the smallest thing that is not stellar, it's game over. The whole performance is belittled. The whole achievement is zeroed out. Who cares? Who cares? You made one mistake. That's it. Disqualified. And that's really hard to live with. I don't know how I do it. I feel like I'm actually so strong mentally to be able to talk this negatively to myself and still be mentally sane. I know I'm crazy a little bit, but real talks, the amount of negativity that lives inside of me, the amount of shit I talk to myself, you would think I would actually be losing my mind by now, which goes to show that I'm much stronger than I think. And on the topic of looping, loops are essentially habits, thoughts that are habitual, that are familiar, that are part of this program. The loops that replay in my mind over and over again are truly shaping my reality, and I am ready to put an end to it and to stop all of it. Here are some examples. I'll start Monday. I'll start Monday. I'll start, or better yet, tomorrow. Tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. That's better than starting Monday. Monday's a week away. Tomorrow is tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. Or telling myself 1,000 times, oh, you're still fat. Oh, you're still fat. Oh, you're still fat. You're always fat, always fat, always fat, always fat. Like, what the frick? I'm not actually that fat. I'm not actually that fat. Why am I telling myself every time I look in the mirror, you are fat? I'm not actually fat. Why am I telling myself I'm fat? I'm not actually fat. But I kid you not, I call myself fat inside my head hundreds of times, and I don't understand why or how. This is my favorite one. Ready? I know you have this one too. This is like a freaking pandemic loop, okay? This loop is a pandemic. I'll be happy when. Sound familiar? I'll be happy when I'm skinny. I'll be happy when I'm rich. I'll be happy when I can travel anywhere I want. I'll be happy when I have a better job. I'll be happy when I'm in a perfect relationship. I'll be happy when I'm married. I'll be happy when I have a family. I'll be happy when I'm skinny. I'll be happy when blah, 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 blah. Sound familiar? Another one I have, perfectionism. If it's not perfect, I'm not going to do it. I won't do it because I know I won't be able to do it perfectly. So I'll just wait for a little bit until I'm ready to do it perfectly. Never gonna happen. Here's another pandemic loop. Ready? I don't have time. How many times do you think to yourself throughout the day, I don't have time? I'm sorry, what? We all have the same 24 hours in a day. We don't have time, we make time. Why don't you have time? Rushing always, rushing everywhere, rushing to get to work, rushing to get things done at work, rushing home after work, rushing to the gym, rushing to cook food, rushing to eat, rushing. Where the hell are we running? Where the hell are we rushing? Where the hell am I rushing? And right now, I'm about to drop a bomb on myself. I'm about to expose myself, strip myself bare. Are you ready? I need external validation to feel worthy, AKA, I like attention for the wrong reasons because attention makes me feel important, makes me feel relevant, and feeds my ego. I care way too much about what people think. There are moments when I'm okay and I'm not caring, but then I get sucked back into the default. And you know what's crazy? What's crazy is that every single person out there externally sees us only through the lens of their own life, their own experiences, and what they're going through in that moment and their mental capacity in that moment to perceive what they are seeing. Somebody can see me in a completely different light than I present myself or than who I truly am. So it's such a misconception trying to be liked, trying to fit in sometimes, trying to win people over who might never see your true value, not because you're not valuable, but because they don't have the capacity to see you for you. because their brain is clouded with their own problems, their own mental states, their own trauma, their own narrow lens through which they see the world. I understand that, but this is something that I believe I'm going to need to put more effort in keeping at the back of my mind. That thought and that recognition comes in handy when it comes to practicing internal validation and not external. It should not matter what others think of you. It really should never, ever, 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 ever matter. You should never care. It should be irrelevant what other people think of you and how other people perceive you. The most important thing is, who do you want to be? What are your values? And are you serving your community, a mission? Are you helping people? Are you creating, are you producing value? But that's for point B. Right now we're in point A. So external validation, very much a pattern of mine. And I think many people's. I procrastinate like there is no tomorrow. That procrastination is disguised behind waiting for the right time. Like, I was waiting for the right time to start this podcast. I was clearing out my office desk a couple weeks ago. I posted about it on my Instagram stories. I literally found an old notebook where I wrote that the Desperate for Love podcast is launching November 11, 2023, 2 years before it actually launched. And I'm pretty sure that initially it was probably like another year before that. Can you imagine that I've wanted to launch this podcast for so long? That voice never left me. That idea never left me. That desire never left me. But I chose to ignore it, procrastinate, simply because I was waiting for the right time. What was that right time? Nobody knows. Nobody knows, okay? But I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we are here. But it took us a while. And just like it took us a while to get here, it's taking us a really long while to do other things, to grow, to work on ourselves, to transform. It's taking us a while to get fit. It's taking us a while to truly shift our lifestyle, to shift our thought patterns. It's taking a while because I'm procrastinating, because I'm waiting for the perfect time. I'm waiting for the time when it's the easiest, when all my cravings go away, when it's easy, when it's smooth. That's never going to happen. Discipline through the emotions and feelings that try and stop me from achieving my goal. Discipline, make a plan, follow through with the plan, regardless of how you feel. Don't wait for things to be perfect. Just do it. Half-ass it, but do it anyways. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. That perfect moment seriously never comes. It seriously never comes, and this podcast is the strongest example of that. And the last thing that I want to discuss here today, before the storm, what's been on my mind, my point A, is the gap that exists in my life between who I am right now and the version of me that I thought that I'm supposed to be or who I want to be. The gap between who I know I could be versus who I am, who I'm being. I think that is the biggest and most painful wound, if you will, that I'm going through right now, is living life, understanding and acknowledging that I am not satisfied with where I am and with how things are, knowing my potential, feeling my potential, and understanding that I could have been X, Y, and Z if I only did something different in the past, if I made it happen. And every day that I live, I'm like, okay, I'm 29 years old, turning 30. If I wasn't so dumb, if I didn't procrastinate, if I was not chasing perfectionism, I could have been so much further in life right now. If I did not make the mistakes that I made, be it in relationships, in friendships, in work, business, podcast, singing, all the things, if I didn't X, then I would be Y. But the truth is, there's divine timing. And I'm exactly where I need to be. And life is a long, never-ending process, never-ending path of constant development, constant growth, constant evolution, constant turns, traumas, changes. I may think that the worst is behind me because things have kind of been stable, but I have no idea what life has in store for me. I probably have dozens of painful, traumatizing things waiting for me. I know I shouldn't be thinking into that direction, but like when you lose your parents, when you lose your family, you have siblings, you have close friends. Life is not guaranteed. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. And God can take away parts of your life. You can lose people. You can lose friendships. You can lose connections that were valuable to you. You can lose everything. You can lose your job. You can lose yourself. You can lose your health. Like, why is my mind going into that direction? Why am I focusing on the darkness instead of focusing on the light and saying there is so much bliss, reward, and just blessings coming my way? Why am I not saying that God has dozens of blessed divine rewards coming my way? Awards, support, events that are going to transform my life for the better, events that are going to significantly level me up. Why is my mind naturally going into the negative direction? I don't understand. I don't understand. So thank you so much for listening to today's episode. This is part 1 of 3 series here on the Desperate for Love podcast. Before the storm. The storm is Operation Smoke Show. The storm is all the blood, sweat, and tears that are going to go into these next 2 months as I push myself to my limits. I'm gonna push myself to my limits. I'm gonna push myself beyond my limits. I'm gonna force myself to stay focused on that end goal. There is no other way. I have to stay focused on my goal. My goal is to change my life. My goal is to transform. I want to transform my mind. I want to transform my body, and I want to transform my soul. And when I see you back here on my 30th birthday, my mind will shift so much and will be so different that I will look back at today's episode and smile with love and care of where I used to be and how far I've come. I'm going to be calling my 30-year-old self, my transformed version, my smoke show version of myself, asking for guidance, asking for advice, asking for support, asking for motivation, asking her to push my booty. Okay. Discipline. I need discipline. I need discipline and I need consistency. I will be loyal to this new lifestyle. I'm going to be very conscious, cautious, and present in this whole transformation process. The key to all of this is being present. The power that I hold is in the present moment. I cannot control what happens tomorrow, but I can impact what I do today, here and now. Okay. So I'm going to do just that. Am I the most negative person on planet Earth that you have ever met? Because sometimes I feel like I am. And sometimes when I meet people, I isolate myself from them because I know I'm bad for them, because I know I'm toxic, because I know I have negative tendencies. Finn's here. Hey, Finn. Hey, Finn. Say hello. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. We love you guys.